Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
And we won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now.
See this? How you cannot go?
Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in. Hey Zena, how you doing? I showed up today thinking about the Naziah Harris case. How are you doing? Wanted to see what was going on in your neck of woods here. Just taking care of a lot of stuff. What's going on? How are you doing, Miss Zena and Lisa Calhoun? She said, I'm good. She said, I am good. I am, what is this? Oh, okay. Flow pay. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the Naziah Harris case. So, the funny thing about, I'm doing good. I had a MRI done Monday. That's why we didn't come on yesterday. And it came back negative. So, that's a good thing. You guys understand. I'm still having these headaches. So, I want to talk a little bit about the Naziah Harris case because it's coming up. And the things that I've been reading and things that's been going on. So, Because everybody's really, wanting everything to happen and, to Jarvis. And I went back over because it's very hard to hear what they're saying. And hey, Freddie, how you doing? I see you in the building. And I was under the impression that I would record it and then enhance the volume of the audio part because it is very hard to hear what they're saying. Lisa Calhoun says, "Me too. I'm still waiting on my results." Girl, I got my results today. I did it yesterday. That's why I didn't come on yesterday. I went to the doctor. Oh man, it has cost because I don't have the insurance. So I'm paying out of pocket. Oh my God. $2,400 later. I got the results back today. That's how important it was. I mean, it's like I can't get over these headaches. And they're getting worse and worse. So when you guys don't see me come on, it's probably because I'm trying to lay down and get rid of these headaches. And I've been telling you guys about them over and over and over. And the good thing about it is they didn't find anything on the MRI. So they say, or they just not experienced enough to see it. But it makes me feel good that they didn't find, no leakage, no another, aneurysm, no leaking of blood or whatever's going on. So I'm good, but the thing about it is, well, why do I have these headaches? I don't want to wait until I'm, where they're doing a factual, what do they call it when they I can't even think because my head is a autopsy to tell, oh, this is what it is. Well, don't learn. Let's learn it, let's know now. Anyway, you guys, I wanted to share something with you. And I'm just going to keep it real. That kind of bothers me. Thank you, Freddie. I see you in the building. So, because I was feeling really good about Kim Worthy. Kim Worthy is the Wayne County prosecutor. She managed what would go to trial in court and, things of that nature. And she had some really big words when it came to the Naziah Harris case, knowing that a lot of the pieces that were put together was almost like the worst case ever. And I'm just being honest with you guys, She said, watch your blood pressure. I am. Trust and believe. I'm taking my medication because it does seem like the blood pressure medication does help. And when I take it faithfully, when, in the daytime, in the evening, I do very well. If I miss or even, don't do it on the hour, it's almost like that headache comes up. So you don't have to ask me or tell me twice to, if I forget it, I'll be like, let me go take it now. I might even take an extra one. But anyway, nevertheless, everybody that you would talk to, and then they say, they declare Naziah deceased. And they do. They declare this child deceased. And I'm thinking to myself, how could they declare her deceased? Because what is the evidence that they are looking at? What is the evidence? Well, you guys, I'm going to say this. I don't drink caffeine, Zena. I don't drink caffeine. She said smoking. Yeah, that might be a problem. Sodium. Yeah, that might be a problem. Stress. That might be a problem. That might be a problem. But I have really bad headaches. So the only thing I really want to do is I don't worry about the smoking part because I have a headache, so I want to lay down. The sodium, I don't want to eat because my headaches hurt so much. It's almost like my headache is so bad. I'm not sitting there eating fries and pasta. I love pasta, but you know what I'm saying? Like, no, my headache hurts. And I don't do the energy drinks either. So, anyway. And stress, I'm not really stressed out either. So, yeah, sometimes I just want to just lay down. Sinuses, yeah, you know. So a lot of the things I used to do, I don't do them because my head hurts so bad. I just want to lay down. So what I used to do, I don't do. So anyway, you guys, let's talk about Kim Worthy a little bit and I'm not saying that Jarvis is not going to be found guilty. Yes, he is going to be found guilty on a lot of the charges. But I don't think you guys know, and I was looking for it. There's a case that's right there in Detroit where there's this guy, I think his name is Darnell. His name is Darnell Irving. Darnell Irving in Detroit. And he was charged with murder. And here's the sad thing about the whole situation, you guys. I'm just going to tell you. I can't really remember what his name is, but it's Darnell or something. But he's been fighting a case in Detroit. And he was found guilty. And he appealed it. He appealed and he didn't have an attorney. He represented himself. You guys listen to what I'm saying. Do you not know that this man represented himself and won? And he's out. He's out. And I'm going to tell you, Trey Stone, I know what Jarvis is going for. And here's the thing, Trey Stone, he is not only going for SA, he's in there for murder too. He's in there for murder too. Homicide. Homicide. Jarvis butts charges. Jarvis butts in Detroit charges. The information you are seeking about Jarvis. Oh, Lord. Jarvis Butt, who was charged with sexual assault and murdering I will repeat it. Jarvis Butt, who was charged with sexual assault and murdering so anyway, they saying he murdered Naziah. Okay. Now it says Jarvis has been charged in connection with the sexual assault of a 12-year-old girl too, back in 2013. They charged King with murder, but they dropped the charges. No, they didn't. What are you talking about? Treason, what are you talking about? Oh my goodness. They have not charged King with no murder. They ain't charged him. They ain't dropped no charges. They've never charged him with murder. Where did you get that from? Come on. Yes, they did. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They never charged him with murder. They ain't charged him with murder. They ain't dropped no charges. They ain't never charged him with murder. Never. No, when they first locked him up, they didn't charge him with murder. They charged him with domestic violence. He ain't never been. She said, I'm going to go pull it up. Go pull it up. Go pull it up. Go pull it up. They ain't never charged him with murder. Where's my phone at? Let me make sure my phone is on. Because I know you're going to come back with an excuse and say, it was there. No. I got my phone on. No. And it's 84%. Anyway. I wish they would have. But that wasn't the case. See, and I don't care how many people say, yes, it was SP. This is what happened. Or do. I'm invested in this case. I said, I'm invested. That means I call and ask. I call and I call down there to the station. Now, I don't know what y'all heard or what you seen. Yeah, and not only tell me Roxy called and such. Did you hear the conversation, or did Roxy tell you what she heard? Because see, if that's what you're trying to tell me, what Roxy told you, but you didn't hear it for yourself, I don't bring me that information because that's not so. You would also tell me Roxy found the um the um the ankle bracelet that was put on King's ankle. And some people saying, I seen her find it, SP. I'd be like, get out of here. Some people just, I don't know, they do and say what they say, but that is nowhere near the truth. They never arrested that man and charged him for murder. They never have. She might want you to not like him, but he's never been charged for no murder. He wasn't even arrested for murder. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, yes, he was. Anyway, you could say, what was his name? His name was, let me figure this out. Let's figure this out, you guys. Let's figure this out. Uh-oh, they sending me some stuff. Yeah, Carwell. No. Yep, that's his name. Cardell, right. Charges. His name is Cardell Robinson. Um, yeah, he was never charged with murder. But let's see, has he got in trouble lately? His name is Cardell Wright, but his middle name is Robinson. Anywho's, nevertheless, I never seen it, never heard. Not saying that they couldn't, they could, but all his stuff was just domestic violence, carrying a weapon, concealed weapon. But they never, it must have been a day that nobody else seen it or whatever, and they probably spooked him and scared him, which would have been great, you know. But they could have charged him. They could have, but I'm just saying I check all the time. Like right now I'm checking to see if anything is active. And the only thing active right now, and I'm just saying it could have been. My question is why one charge and not two if she was pregnant? Okay. Well, passion. Well, the only thing we could say about that is that the child was not viable. Viable meaning that it had to be 20 weeks or more. She had to be pregnant 20 weeks or more. If she found out in September, then you've got, we don't know if it's the beginning of September or the end of September. I think it was like September the 20th, somewhere around her birthday, September the 16th or something. September, so you would have September to October, that'd be 1 month. October to November, 2 months. November to December, 3 months. And December to January would be 4 months. 4 months. 4 months, 4 weeks. That's only but 16. 4 times 4. And you have to be 20 weeks. Karen says nobody. I think because they don't have a body to actually say she was pregnant, there's only going to off text message. No. Because here's the thing. You guys are the investigators, and you guys need to understand one thing. To assume or to allegate someone is pregnant, you don't need a body. You don't need a body to know if someone's pregnant or not. True? You guys talk to me because I want to talk to you. And if you know what I'm saying, you got to know what I'm saying. You don't need a body to prove someone is pregnant. You can have my blood and know that I am pregnant. Your blood will tell you if you are pregnant. Whether you're dead or not, you can tell if a woman is pregnant or has a baby in her belly. You don't need a body to understand that. The blood work didn't show it. Well, then she's not pregnant because the blood work will show it. Karen, say it again. I don't know what you're saying is true or not, but I'm saying all blood work will show if a woman is pregnant. You can't take it out of the blood. You can't do it. There's no way you can do it. If they've got blood samples of that child, and they do, it will show that she is either pregnant or not. It's more than a week or two. But for those of you that think that you can shed blood and not show that a woman is carrying a baby, you will not make it in this world trying to assume just because she sent a text message that proves that she is pregnant. That does not prove that she's pregnant. It proves that she said she was. They would have to have something to test that she is pregnant. And they've got her blood. They have her blood, so they say. Karen said, well, SP, They didn't say if the blood work was tested. Exactly. They didn't say. But that doesn't mean they don't have it, or it doesn't say. They wasn't trying to prove that when they went to court. You guys remember? Not Doritos, Cheetos. Cheetos. Diesel like Cheetos and Pooh Bear like Doritos. But yes, you guys are right. So Zena says they don't have to tell us. You're right. They didn't. They didn't tell us. That doesn't mean they don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, the reason why they had the preliminary is not to prove that she was murdered or she was pregnant. They was proving that Jarvis took this child and he was the last person having sexual relationships with this child. That's what they were proving. They were just proving enough to go to court. And all the other charges is just extra. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Okay, when you have a preliminary, you want to prove to the court that there is enough information that this man has did a criminal act. You don't have to tell them everything. You have to, only thing they said is, guess what? She was at school. She sent them a message. She said, pick me up. And guess what? He went to AutoZone, so they say, and he must have picked him up because King said they seen this girl that he said was his niece, and she got in the car, and they went back to the shop. And guess what? That's the last time that anybody from the school seen her. Then they allegedly supposed to have went to Ypsilanti and drove all the way down there, and they said the girl was still alive. And then King said that they drove all the way back. Nobody said nothing. And they counted the money, and King said he went home. And Naziah was still with Jarvis, and she was alive. And that's the last time we seen her. And he's got, guess what? A motive to take her out. Because she said in a previous message back in September, she was pregnant. And guess what? She is very active in social media. And now there's nothing. There's crickets. He's not reaching out to her. He's not calling her phone. She's not messaging him. So we assume she's dead. No. They assume she's dead because guess what? She's 13 years of age. There's blood. There's clothing. You were there, and we don't see her nowhere. That's why they assume that she's dead. And there's blood everywhere. Freddie says, I believe King is telling the truth, girl. And I told you, I've got property that I would love to sell you. She said, now I got you getting my... Girl, I love my Lay's potato chips. See, I'm a Lay's person anyway. But anyway, and then people do get mad at me because they come in and they be trying to tell me some stuff that they got no evidence. And I know, like, no, it's not. No, I didn't see that. Well, send it to me. Go get the information. And then you hear crickets because there is no information. Why? Because guess what? I like for someone to share something with me that I didn't see. Because I'm not going to know everything. I'm not going to see everything. I just can't. I just don't like when somebody tries to tell me something that does not make any sense. People, but the Bible tells us about people with itching ears. I don't have itching ears. See, because one thing about it is, like I said, I always call down there to the police station. I'll be like, what are you holding such and such for? And where are they at? And how can I get in touch with them? And then they tell me they have to because I'm a citizen. And so, but then we have other channels coming here with different names. They have different names, you guys. I'm just going to keep it real with you. They have different names, then they say stuff. And then they have one or two people in here. And then they say stuff. And then they want, and then they want me to say something. Like, yeah. You can't tell me just anything. We call them trolls. Then they disappear and you don't hear them say anything else. Not because they're mad. They're mad because I didn't just take what they just said and run with it. Because I know better. And I don't care who it is. Because that'll get you in a lot of trouble saying something that is not true. You guys won't get the backlash of that. I will. But like I said, I've never seen King be charged with murder. Now, if he got charged with murder and they dropped it, okay. I'd never said that he was charged with murder. I don't know who said he was charged with murder. I've never seen him be charged with murder. I said Jarvis was charged with murder. And let's get back on topic, I said the reason why I'm a little leery about Jarvis being charged with murder is because they just charged this cat named Darnell or Durrell Erning, and he represented himself right there in Detroit. And guess what? He got out. He won. And I'm going to tell you why I was trying to tell you guys this. You're not going to believe what I say. The reason why he got off is because one of the jurors, while they were in court, went on the internet and Googled gang member. I'm not lying, you guys. I'm not lying. And let me tell you something. And I know that people are going to get mad at me because I'm not from Detroit. But how many times have you already heard in a preliminary YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all of this, Googling the information, all the cousins on here, kin folks, Googling information, getting information, the witnesses, somebody sent me a video and all this other stuff. How many times have you heard it? You probably already heard it from 2 or 3 people. Yeah. So the sad thing about this, usually when a person represented themselves in a case, they call them, they say that's the dumbest thing you can do. They say when you see a person representing themselves as an attorney, you see an idiot. That's what you see. Hold on. Yeah, they Googled gang member. All right. And I wanted to say they're going to be mad at me. So I'm from Sweet Home, Alabama. I saw some lady claim they called her for jury duty about Jarvis case on Facebook and they were on her A. Incognito say, I saw some lady claim they called her for jury duty about Jarvis' case on Facebook, and they were on her A. That's what I'm saying. What do they call a person that represent themselves in a murder case? You do have the right to represent yourself. Pro se. They say the legal system is complex and navigating it without legal training can put the defendant at a significant disadvantage. Freddie say, hell, come on now, a fool. But this guy just did it. This guy just did it. And who was the prosecuting? Kim Worthy team. Kim Worthy team. Now, the thing about the whole situation, it's not Kim Worthy's fault that the jurors went on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook or whatever to Google up gang member and all this other stuff. But while you in trial, you Google this stuff up to see what it meant. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. If you do it, shut your mouth. But evidently, this person they probably know what a gang member is, but like I say, in court, they want to tell you what their definition is. And the person probably was like, let me see. Person in Detroit, Google gang member in a trial turned over. I can't remember who that was. But this says recent legal news from Detroit, including the case where federal appeal court overturned the conviction of Leroy Liggins, a black man charged with heroin distribution. Mr. Liggins looks like a criminal to me. The appeals court determined that the judge's remarks. So the judge said something about he looks like a criminal. So they had to turn that over. All kind of stuff. People make mistakes all the time. I'm trying to find it though. But they're all getting turned over. I wonder how they knew about the Googling. Well, they probably did a interview and they probably said something. And then they probably went back and got them a private investigator or something, or confiscated their laptop and found out that during the time that they were doing the jury duty on while the court was in trial, they Googled this stuff, and the person is out right now today. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Darnell Irving trial overturned, Detroit Google gang member. Anyway, I'm trying. I'm trying to find it. Darnell Irving trial in Detroit. Darnell Irving. Well, it's not bringing it up. Man representing himself, Irving in Detroit. It's crazy. So anyway, you guys, I was trying to find it. It's a rare case when a convicted murderer represents himself in court, yet Irving in his jailhouse screen empathize. Okay, this must be it right here because he's been looking for it. Yeah, Darrell Irving. New trial starts March 25th, 2024. Yeah, this is it. This is it right here. But this is a man convicted of murder is getting a new trial after an appeal court found problems with the first trial. The appeal court said a jury conducted an improper outside investigation during deliberations. So now 35-year-old Darrell Irving is in court trying to plead his case, which became boisterous give and take with the judge on Friday. Local 4 has been following the case for more than a decade. It's a rare case when a convicted murderer is representing himself in court, yet Irving is his jailhouse green empathized pleading his case. The 35-year-old had made nearly 36 motions and still gave more supplement requests for Cox to consider. Cox gave a thumbs down to all the major motions, like dismissing the case, deciding whether Detroit police detective improperly suppressed evidence, and keeping out other evidence on Friday. The court is going to deny Ms. Irving motions after significant review of the records. Cox added that he found Irving's pleadings troublesome. Some lost credibility here in respect to Mr. Irving's arguments, in that things he is especially saying he didn't have pretrial in 2010 were used and argued about and found in the transcript of the 2010 jury. Ultimately, Aaron got his chance to respond to the judge's ruling. This is just the beginning, but you made a ruling and said you are about justice, Your Honor, and it was plainly given to you, Your Honor, that she said she didn't have it. She doesn't even know the officers. So how do you turn around and make me out to be a liar? Irwin later boldly told the new judge he had no business even hearing the case. The thing is, and respectfully, I just learned that you just came out of the prosecutor's office a couple of months ago, and that you're friends with Kim Worthy, and that you're friends with John. Irwin said, how are you even on my case? That's actually bias. Irwin says he intends to appeal the judge's ruling. His new trial starts March 25th, 2024. Irwin's family and friends surrounded him in the courtroom. After the case, the judge did not directly respond to Irwin's emotion. That man kept, he just got out of jail, you guys. He didn't stop. What happened? So I'm just letting you guys know what Lisa say. I will not be in the live Friday. I will be traveling home to bury my cousin and visit with another one who we've been told has 3 weeks left. Oh, sorry to hear that, Lisa Calhoun. You know? Anywho's. So I'm trying to get this. So the guy's name is okay. Darrell Irving trial. Okay, here it is. So Darrell Irving, new information has to be reopened in the case, who did 14 years in prison. Screams tears of joy issue as Detroit man walks free 14 years after murder conviction. After 14 years, Darrell Irving saw the murder case against him dismissed and walked out of the Wayne County. Yeah, he did. He walked out. And you know, I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't know. I didn't follow this case. So I just want to say this real quick because just because a person gets out doesn't mean they did it, or it doesn't mean that they didn't do it, right? Because we don't know. We wasn't there. We don't know. But I will say, you know, when they presented information to the courts, you know, he's been in prison for 14 years. Doesn't make it that he did it. But what evidence did they have to even put him in there for 14 years? Okay, so he got out because some juror was Googling gang member. Is that why he got out? That's why they dismissed the case? But here's the thing, okay? And I seen this for myself, and you guys understand what I'm saying. So I looked at it wasn't a press conference, but it was a interview with his mother and his father. They were circling around the jailhouse, and they came on the news, and it was like, Darrell's getting out today. So anybody, don't ask me, he'll be home today. And everybody kept on saying, I thank God, glory to God. And I sit back and I be like, okay, I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it. I don't know. But the thing about it is, they thinking God. Just, I just think sometimes, what if he did do it? You know what I'm saying? And then they are thinking God. Or what about the people that lost a loved one? I don't know about the case. I don't know if they got shot. I think it was somebody that got shot, and there was two suspects. He was one of them, and there was another guy. That's all I know about the case. I don't know if it had anything to do with gang related, or you're robbing somebody, or drug deal go bad. I couldn't tell you what it was. But, you know, I just wondered, you know, and people be like, praise God, thank God. God is good all the time. And then their family member is getting out of prison because they was convicted of murder. And let's just say because of flaws in the law or the system that they get out. That doesn't mean they did it, or it doesn't mean that they didn't do it. But I'm just saying, how do the family members of the one that died, how are they feeling? Are they sitting there saying, praise God that they let him go, when it was probably on a technicality or something, you know? I don't know. I'm like, that's why when people say stuff, you know, like, I thank God. I don't believe we all serve the same God. I mean, and I get it. Like, you can make a mistake. And I've done this before. I done made a big mistake, and I basically made the mistake. Or I done something I wasn't supposed to do. Like, say, for instance, you know what I do sometimes, you guys? I mean, I'm just chatting with you. Like, when I go to work, I have to take this road that hardly nobody travels down this road. So I go down like 2 miles, and then there's a stop sign. And then I drive 3 more miles, and then there's another stop sign, and then I'm into town somewhere. I'm into another town, right? You guys are listening. Now, when I'm on this road, there's nobody else on this road. And I say to myself, I say, now, even though I come to this four-way stop sign, should I stop? Because there's nobody else out here but me. But being a law-abiding citizen, and I know for a fact, I can look before I even make it to the stop sign, that there's nobody else out there but me. Why should I stop? There's nobody else out there but me. But, like a good citizen, I stop anyway, knowing that there's not going to be another car. I stop and I directly come to a halt. Look both ways, knowing that there's no car. I do it every day. And I think to myself, why don't I just keep going? Because there's no other car. But I stop anyway, because it's a stop sign. This is a four-way stop. And I wonder why, though. I wonder why do I stop? No, she said, because there might be cameras. No, there's no cameras, honey. We out in the country. There's no cameras. She said, because there might be cameras. Well, you look around to see if there's any cameras. There's no cameras. We're out in the country. And I said to myself, it is so hard for me, and I know there's no cameras. It is still hard for me to not stop, because the law, that sign says it's a four-way stop. And sure enough, I feel like an idiot, knowing there's no cameras, knowing nobody else is coming. I still stop. So I think that we're all programmed to follow the law to the best of our abilities, right? Whether somebody is watching or not. She says it's called integrity, doing what's right, even though no one sees you. Exactly. Doing what's right. But here's the thing. Does it hurt anybody if I didn't stop? It wouldn't hurt a soul. It would not hurt a soul if I did not stop the car. And just because it's a sign out there that says stop. It's kind of weird to me. I mean, I literally thought about that just the other day. I was like, why am I stopping? I see there's no other cars. There's no cameras, but I still stop. Every day when I go to work, I stop. There's some people in this world that does not have that thought process. They see they see something like other than let me see what I can get away with. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what like there's nobody out here. Nobody's watching me. So since nobody's watching me, I'm going to go ahead and do something. I'm going to tell you guys something. I sat back and I watched Jarvis in court all day today. I sit back and I watched him, and he had his head down. He's blinking. I mean, one time he looked up and he was looking. You could tell he was trying to pay attention to something or somebody. And I thought to myself, when they was reading the report of what was said in court, how the little girl said somebody was touching her while she was asleep. They touched the inside. Well, they started playing around with the words, talking about she didn't say inside. She didn't say the vagina. She said where she pee at. She says underneath. And she said this, but she didn't say the labia. She didn't say the clitoris. She didn't say the vagina. She said the urine. She said, I mean, it's all play with words. And then they sit in court, his attorney sit in court with a straight face. And I don't think I could do that. I don't think that if you were my defendant that I had to defend, and some little girl said, hey, they touched me, when I was asleep and it hurt and I woke up crying, and they was trying to act like they wasn't touching me. I literally can see it in my mind what you did. I don't have to be there. When you're explaining it to me, I can see what you did. And sure enough, I believe the little girl. Because why would she make it up? Why would she come into a courtroom full of strangers and say, she don't even want to say the words. So I know she did not make it up. But in all reality, they want her to say the actual words. Oh, he touched the inside of me. He played with the little thing that sticks out, and he fondled me. They call it foreplay. They call it fingering. They call it, whatever. And now that she is 13, 14 or whatever, she still have to explain in detail, because if she don't, they don't believe her. And someone told me before, the law is actually for the guilty people. And now I understand what they was telling me was true. It's not for the innocent. It's for the guilty people. The law protects the guilty people, so you won't mistreat them. It doesn't protect the innocent people that's already got mistreated, got killed, got all of this stuff happening to them. Think about what I'm saying. This little girl is going to have problems for the rest of her life. She's going to have problems with relationships just because he touched her. She's going to have trustworthy problems of anybody she dates, anybody she marries, if she has kids, how she's going to protect those kids for the rest of her life. And then she's going to believe that the world is not going to believe her. So why say something? This is why women don't speak out. They believe it's worthless. You're going to go through so much. If you didn't get raped, you're finna get raped all over again in front of everybody, while there's going to be snickels and grins. Think about what I'm saying. And Jarvis is sitting there with his head down, like he's embarrassed. I believe her too. Because there's no reason in the world she will show up and say what he has done. Why would you put yourself through that? You wouldn't. And why she didn't say something earlier. Everybody be like, well, why she didn't say something earlier? Scared. And then you got another question. Scared of what? Scared of people not going to believe her. Scared of how people are going to look at her. Scared people don't want to be around her. Because if she did make it up, what else could she make up? Or if they did something, what she gonna say? Then you got the parents. And I don't know if this little girl is Shannon's daughter or not. I don't know. I keep saying it's got to be Shannon's daughter because the girl is 13. And why would this little girl be coming over to visit her dad? She said her dad be laying in the bed and he's got a girlfriend. What other little girl would be, oh, I'm going to bring my little girl over to your house so she can go lay down with you? It's got to be his daughter. They say little girl, but they doesn't call her his daughter. But it is. It's got to be his daughter. That means that's Shannon's daughter. I mean, but he's got more kids than just Shannon's kids. He's got other kids. He may have two girls that's the same age. I don't know. So he's been fiddle-faddling around not only with the oldest child that's 20, but Shannon's daughter. And if she said something to him, why would she not say something to Shannon? She said something to Shannon. So I literally believe that Shannon knew. Shannon knew. Because I said to you guys, and I mean this, there's no way in the world they would take Shannon's kids now. Unless one's been touched and she had to. Did you tell your mother? And I guarantee you, the little girl said yes. I guarantee you she said yes. Oh, we gonna talk about it. I guarantee you she said. Because why would CPS come and take your kids after the fact? They wouldn't take them from you if you didn't know. If you didn't tell mama and the man ain't in the house anymore, why would they come and take you? They take you because you did tell mama. You told mama when he touched you. You told mama when you know mama brought you over to Angel's house and he summons you in the bedroom with him and y'all all got in the bed. And you know what? I'm going to just say this. I don't care if you're the dad or not. No. If you believe something like that can happen, you know what you do? You don't take the child over there. You go to that judge and you tell the judge, I don't want to do it, judge, because this is happening or that's happening or my daughter said this or my daughter. Go to court. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm not the best parent or whatever. But when you go in front of the judge and you fighting for custody or you fighting to keep your kids safe, like my son's dad would always come, be drunk, want to pick up the kid. And it's a court order that he has that child for the weekend, right? And I don't want to give him the kid, right? Well, not because I don't like him, because he's drunk. And I don't want him to take my kid and he's drunk and all of this. But I know it's a court order and I can go to jail by not following the court order, right? So you know what you do? You have to think outside of the box. Now, you don't want to go to jail, right? I get that. You don't want to, but you still got to protect the child. So I would always call the police and have them come over to the house. And I'll say, I'm calling the police. And he was like, yeah, you called the police and da 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 da. Okay, I'm calling them. And when the police get here and I say, look, I don't want to give him the child because he's drunk. He's driving intoxicated. You know, we end up back in court again. And he's like, she's always calling the police on me, Judge. And I say, look, you know what? Well, why don't he pick the child up at school? You got to think outside of the box. Well, he don't want to come to the school and argue with the child. Come on, go with me. You're going and with alcohol on his breath. And the school makes the same report I make. He was intoxicated. You guys see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Thinking outside the box. One thing you gotta have to always remember, there's more ways to skin a cat than just sit there and say, I'm not just going to give him the kid. No, when the law tell you have to, that's what you got to do. But anyway, back to what I was talking about, Shannon. Like, I didn't think nothing bad of Shannon. Like maybe she, I just gave her the benefit of the doubt because I just felt like, let's get all the information first. But now the information is out there. I do believe Shannon knew with CPS taking the children from her. I believe Shannon knew that Jarvis was fiddle-falling around with her children. All of them knew. Freddie says this guy had been knowing for a while his girlfriend had a daughter, and he did to his girlfriend's daughter. Only 6 told her mama he would reach over his daughter to get to the girlfriend's daughter. Every time when I look at Jarvis in court, he looks like he's shameful. He looks like, not in remorse, he just looks shameful. Like he's ashamed of being caught. He doesn't look like, because he doesn't say anything, we don't know what he's thinking, but we know he's a liar. For as many children he has, he is bound to have a few the same age. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right about that, Zena. Now, remember just about 10 minutes ago, there was people in here talking about, yes, it was SP. Such and such says so, and such. Where they at? Where they at? Because they ain't sent me nothing. They said, well, I'm going to go get it. Well, go get it. Ain't heard nothing. See? We get that all the time. Hey, Jacqueline, how you? We get that all the time. All the time. And trust me, I know them when I see them. I know when they pop in. Yes, 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 yes. I love talking about the case because you do learn new information when there is new information or there's information you haven't heard of or somebody can show you something, which I love for someone to share their knowledge. But it can't be, you can't just tell me anything. Do you think he wanted all these kids so he could molest them? No, I don't. I think it was just he had easy access. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't really happy with the women. And so, sometimes people don't know why they do what they do. They have that fetish, like they like to take, they don't really, like, say for instance, a drug. Let's just use a drug for example. So some people like to get high, but they don't call themselves an habitual drug addict. They don't want to call themselves a crackhead or a weed head. They just feel like, okay, so when they can't get their fix, or say, let's even say a cigarette, they'll dig in the trash, or a crackhead, they'll steal something that they normally don't steal, but they know deep down inside they got a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that he's a very sexual active person, but he wasn't getting pleasure with the ones that he was having sex with. Remember we were talking about Derica Brown, and I was like, people just not waking up wanting the desires of children and all this other stuff. But Calvin, if you guys remember, I talked to Calvin, and I know I didn't tell you guys this. I think I end up starting to tell you about Calvin and what he said to me off a record. And then we ended up talking about something else. But Calvin told me this, you guys. Calvin told me that he would have intercourse with Derica, right? And he said he couldn't satisfy her. Yeah, Derica Brown. And I said, what you mean you couldn't satisfy her? You ain't got what it take? And, I was kind of giggling, laughing about it, talking to him. Calvin said, no, we can have sex for 3-4 hours. And it just wasn't enough. She wanted over here. She wanted in the butt. She just wanted more and more and more and more. And he said he couldn't satisfy her. It just never was enough. And I thought to myself, 3-4 hours, you done did it in the front and you done did it in the back, and she's telling you to come on some more, some more, some more. And he said he would have to make her stop because she just couldn't get satisfied. That's what he told me. And remember, I talked to Patrick's mom, and I said, hey, did somebody pay Patrick? Or, they have something on him to make him go take the little girl and do this and do that? And Patrick's mom said She was trying to keep Patrick away from Derica. Derica was not good for Patrick. And I thought to myself, well, so him being with Derica would make him do things. She says that girl was the reason why Patrick did what he was doing. He was trying to always satisfy Derica. And because I said, did someone pay him? She said, oh, no. No. She said nobody had to pay him. Exactly. So when Derica had told me about a situation on the highway and there was another person and they ended up taking that person out, or Patrick taking that person out, I told you, the aunt told me this is not something that just happened once. It's done happened before. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell you guys all the time. When sometimes some people talk to you, you may not even can believe when they tell you something that it just doesn't even make sense. I was talking to the auntie and I was like, you mean that Derica had this sensational appetite for sex that none of these men could satisfy her? It's crazy. Crazy. See, and as quiet as it kept, let me tell you something. When you put other people in a situation because you're trying to teach somebody a lesson or get back or get even. So, here's the thing. Half of it's true and half of it's not true. Some of it was true. On the cupcake case, if you guys hadn't figured it out, I will share it with you. And I will stand on what I'm saying. I don't need nobody's permission. I don't need evidence. I have spoken to pretty much everybody in that case. One way or another, whether they send me DMs, tell me to keep going, or what they want to believe. But what you seen on YouTube was pretty much a case unfolded, but there was not enough evidence. Yeah, true. But like April, you guys want to know the truth? It's going to be just the truth. She was in a relationship with Dominique. They had a baby. They named the baby Her nickname was Cupcake. They broke up. Dominique was doing his thing. He's been doing his thing. He was doing his thing while he was with April. April, being a good girl, she was working. She wasn't gorgeous. She was just a good girl. She wasn't about the streets. But she was hanging around her cousin, and her cousin was about the streets. But that's the only person April was really hanging around. So April fell in lust with Nolan. You guys remember Nolan? You guys gonna have to talk to me. You just can't listen. You're gonna have to talk to me because I don't know if you guys are here or not. She fell in love with Nolan. Nolan and Dominique got into it about April. Dominique did not want Nolan, to be fooling around with April because April got money. She working, and she'll lay it down, have some sex or whatever. But Dominique loved this little girl, Cupcake, and tried to do what he can do, playing around, baby mama drama. But April didn't do anything but take care of the kid, let her do what she want to do. Still here and there. Dominique came around here and there. But Dominique felt like, I want to come around and one of my homeboys that, we do things together, we rob houses, we do drugs together, we buy drugs, we sell drugs together. He knocking the same thing I'm knocking. So Dominique called Nolan, was like, hey man, don't be, and Nolan was like, what's up? I can do what I want to do. And he was like, well, you'll find out or whatever. So April was supposed to take Cupcake over to the cousin's house. There was a party going on. The other cousins was out there playing, so she just dropped her off because she got a date with, guess who? Nolan. She had a date with Nolan. And they thought, okay, she got a date with Nolan. She's not watching the baby. The baby's going to be out there. So the baby was out there playing. Everybody was playing. So then Derica came. The kids all know Derica. She sat there right across from them, watched the kids all the time and everything. So they said, hey, y'all, let's play hide and go seek. So the kids went to go play hide and go seek. So when Cupcake and the little girl went in the back, because they gave them candy on the corner, they pulled around the back end and grabbed the little girl first. See, this is what y'all didn't know. They grabbed the little cousin first, but they didn't want her because they was going to teach Dominique a lesson. And the thing wasn't going to do anything to Cupcake, just make Dominique a little stressed. That's why April did not want to call the police when she finally got there. Remember, April didn't call the police. The little brother called the police. So they let the other little girl go. Some people was like, they didn't want her because she was ugly. No, they didn't want her because Derica didn't want her. She wanted the pretty little girl. The little girl that was pretty. 3 years old. So she had peed on herself and everything. She was wet, pee ran down on her shoes. So they took her shoes off because they were soaking wet and left them in the parking lot. Put her in the car. Went straight to the filling station. The thing wasn't going to be where anybody knew anything about Dorica. Got some candy, got some Kool-Aid and all of that. And the little girl was in the car with them. They got to the apartment, got out the car. The neighbors seen the little girl. She was crying and everything. And Dorica took her inside the apartment. They both was inside the apartment. And the little girl was dirty. Soaking wet. So Dorica put her in the tub and washed her up really good. Now, they done already gave her whatever the drug was. She didn't know. But, whether they crushed it or put it in her Kool-Aid or whatever. But they drugged her up. And so Patrick did what he wanted to do with the little girl, probably with a rubber on, because there was none of his sperm inside of her or anywhere. But Dorica says that she went to bed or something and come back to the bathroom to find that Patrick was making the girl suck his wee-wee. That's a lie. You watched. And then Dorica did what she wanted to do. And then it was told that someone allegedly went in a toolbox and got a hammer and hit the girl somewhere in the head or something of that nature. And Dorica stayed at the apartment, and Patrick wrapped her up, took her in the back of the apartments to the other complex, and dumped her body in the trash. And while he was dumping her body in the trash, he had called his mother. And he had called his mother and came back to the apartment. So when the police asked Dorica, after she seen that Patrick was out and she was still in jail, she called Patrick and she told Patrick, if you don't get me out, I'm telling them everything. And so as she was telling him that Patrick took this little girl and knew exactly where she was, in the dumpster, they traced the dumpster back to the landing field. And not only that, they traced Patrick's phone that he had made a call to his mom. So once she told them that Patrick took the little girl out and did these things or whatever, she thought she was clear. But how did you know he put her in a dumpster? And how did you know in the dumpster there was chairs and couches from in the dumpster? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, she described the trash that was in the dumpster. Dorica did. Y'all did know that, right? Okay. So that tells you, how did you know, Dorica? How did you know? Now, it's one thing to know that he took the girl in the back of the apartment into the other apartment, but how did you know that there was chairs and a toilet in the trash that the little girl was put into? So they did give her leniency because, and here's the funny thing, you guys, and I'm just going to keep it real. I didn't never see no dogs searching for this child. I seen the family. And she was just right behind the apartment complex. So, anyway, long story short, you guys know the ending of that story, right? You guys know. April was mad at me. Okay. You not mad at the person who threw the party. You not mad at your cousin that you left the child with. You're not even mad at yourself. You're not even mad at the woman that snatched your child or the man that had your child. But you're mad at me. Why? Because I spoke with her? I don't want to hear her voice. I know you don't want to hear her voice. But to get in the mind of people that do acts like this, you got to know why. What?
I got you some tacos.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Are you on your live?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off.
All right.
So, yeah, they didn't look for Cupcake. They didn't look like, like, I think when people realize a child is missing and they're looking for the child to walk up, because we don't really expect somebody to come and snatch a child, literally snatch a child. Like, for what? It didn't used to be like this, you guys. I'm being honest with you. My mother used to tell me all the time, and I'm surely when you guys were younger, your mother used to tell you, when a child came up missing, she'd be like, oh, no, it definitely wasn't no black people. We can't give our kids away, let alone somebody come and take them, My mother would always say, oh, that was a white person. That was a white man. And back then, Even if you called it profile, that's what it was. It was sure enough the truth. But you know what? Times has changed. You've got people doing stuff that just unbelievable. Like, where do they even get the thinking? This woman changed her name and didn't even know how to spell it. And Dorica's not ugly either. Let me just tell y'all that. And then you sit back and you go, but why? There's got to be a reason. That's what I was telling you. It's got to be a reason. No. The reason is that they're sick. So you got this man to take this baby because y'all want money from Dominique, or you want to teach Dominique a lesson that y'all running things down there, and everybody's running around, and who gets hurt? A baby. A baby. 3 years old. And April, let me tell you right now, she said the only thing she did wrong was she got comfortable. And she was laughing and smiling, grinning, like being at work or whatever. And everybody was like, look at April, you go, April, you go. This woman has lost a child. Many days and many nights. She's going to cry. She's going to have to get some counseling. Because at the end of the day, you lost that child on your watch. I didn't lose a child. You lost a child. So SP, all my kids are living, got kids, and growing and striving. We're trying to make sure we didn't know Cupcake, but it don't happen to another kid. Or why is these women doing this and these men we're letting in our lives, and these women in our lives? Because it don't have to be a man, y'all. It don't have to be a man. Everybody got it in their mind. It's a man because he got a ding dong. It's a man. And he got a little girl. It don't have to be a man. Women do the same thing. Everybody put emphasis on the sex. Sex. And what do you end up with? A monster. Wear this, wear that. Don't wear this, don't wear that. Put the leggings on, take the leggings off. Wear the t-shirt. Every time I turn around, it's And the only thing I say all the time, and I say this all the time, okay, why was the child at a party she wasn't invited to? Yes. How can you drop a child off in the middle of, and I say crack alley, but in reality, at a party, you don't know who's giving a party. You don't know who's at the party. You don't know if it's adults. You wasn't invited. She wasn't invited. You don't even know the person. The woman just moved in and she moved out in the same night. Like, who drops their kid off, a 3-year-old, at a party just because other kids is out there playing? You don't know what's out there. And you're in the car and going down the street. Well, she did get comfortable. She got comfortable. She seen her cousin kids at the party, so they might as well come too. Cupcake see the big balloon. She said, "Oh, you should have seen. Her eyes were so big. She just wanted to be on the slide." Sometimes you got to tell kids, no, that ain't that slide's not for you. Unless you're gonna stand out there and watch them. I don't think the woman that threw the party had anything to do with any. I don't know. Maybe she did throw the party up real quick. I don't know if she had something to do with Nolan and Vito and all of them. I mean, hey, it's very possible. Okay, my cousin's she's gonna watch my baby and da 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 da. And then the woman's like, oh yeah, you move in the day you throw the party in a area you don't even know. It's really strange. But you know, and I'm just saying, like, people that is not from that kind of lifestyle, surrounding ghetto lifestyle, they may be in the ghetto, but they're not ghetto. April is not ghetto material. And I just want you guys to know that. That's why she got comfortable in a setting where she's not. You know what I'm saying, you guys? Like my cousins, they live in the ghetto, and I go over there and I kick it with them. But, I don't just let my kids run out in the streets with them and they playing kickball or whatever. I'm right outside with them. All y'all come on in. I'm in, y'all in. Mama, dang, all the kids outside playing while we can. Shh, we're finna go because you're trying to do something because you see your cousins doing it. But see, her kids, the cousins' kids probably know how to act in that type of setting. They know where to go, where not to go, when somebody come around or whatever. But your kids don't know that. A 3-year-old, we'll never forget the case, you guys, and these kids. We'll never forget them. We'll never forget Cupcake. We'll never forget, I almost said Malaysia. Malia, the two Malias. Oh my God, it's so many. Cody, King, Braylon. Yeah, I love the ghetto too. I remember when I was raised, my cousin, they lived in the projects, and they had this apartment, and it was like 7 or 8 all in one, But I would go over there, and the house was so big. It had a big old kitchen, this open plan, living room, dining room, kitchen area. And then they go downstairs. They had 3 levels. They had upstairs, middle, downstairs, and then down underneath there, 4 stories or whatever. It didn't look like 4 stories. It only looked like 3, but it was like 4. And I would go over there, and she had like 7 kids, and my mom had 7 kids. And I was like, dang, Mom, like, man, I go over there, it's kids all over the place, people running. We play hide and go seek all the time, kickball. You just go outside and you can find somebody to play with. And if you didn't have a bike, you can jump on anybody's bike and play, and always some kids to play with, We played all day and all night. Go over to my Amy's house. I come back to my mama's house, we lived in a house. It was a 3-bedroom house. 1 bedroom was my mom and my stepfather, and the other bedroom was me and my brother, and then the other bedroom was 5 other kids. 3 sets of bunk beds or whatever, or 2 sets of bunk beds and 1 single bed. That's how it was. But It was totally different. But we was in the ghetto, but we was on the edge of the ghetto. And, it wasn't kids all over the place. Like when you're in the ghetto, kids is all over the place. It's like you go outside, there's 30, 40 kids outside. Hollering, screaming, playing, running, doing jumping jacks, hopscotch, marbles, you name it. We playing it, kickball, all kind. I'm just having fun. Then you got your grown-ups, they drinking, they playing music or whatever. They laughing, they having a good time. They playing cards, they smoking weed, they drinking a little drink, whatever, You see it all. They cussing, you hear somebody fighting, cars going up and down, you see the beautiful cars and all this other stuff. Yeah. And you come back home, you don't see all that. But every time I was over to my auntie's house, I didn't know the rules. So anyway, you guys, that's just the way life is. I'm going to get off of here. We'll talk tomorrow. It's dinner time. It's 6:00 here. It's dinner time. Eat me a little dinner, take me a little shower, and lay it down. My doctor just ordered me some more medication. I'm going to go pick that up. Maybe this will help my headache. I'll see you guys later. We'll talk. We're trying to prevent things like this. We can't help Cupcake. We can't help Naziah. This is one of those cases that you can't get out of your head. I can't get Naziah out of my head. I can't get Cupcake out of my head. I can't get Malia out of my head. Can't get Cody out of my head. Hopefully, we talk to our kids about protecting their children and the next generation. And it's everybody's job. Everybody got to do it. Because it can happen to anybody, to be honest with you. But it only happens to people that are not paying attention. And it's quick to get, distracted, disconnected. It really is. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. I just wanted to come on because we didn't come on Monday, and I felt like, when we're not seeing this stuff, then it just seems like we're accepting it. But all you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.